Morning YTPC. Smoking Fred coming at you. Hope y'all are having a good morning. As you can see, I'm having a cup of coffee. And I got me a bowl of coffee. Got some cowboy coffee from coffee² in this Boswell 2020 shotgun shell. It's got a Winchester 12 gauge at the end of the snommel. Just seems like a classic mint billiard. Comfortable pipe to clench. Got some nice beef to it. Got thicker walls, so it keeps my smoke nice and cool. And I've been really enjoying this cowboy coffee for a morning pipe when I have it. I probably had at least 3 in the last week. It's a nice stout blend, and when I purchased it, I can't remember either did 8 ounces or 16. I think it was 16. I had not tried it before, but it had so many great reviews and people talking about it, so it sounded like a good blend. I said, what the heck. It's rather enjoyable for me for a early morning smoke. About 7:30 where I'm at. I woke up about 3 hours ago, just couldn't sleep anymore. So got up and started working for a couple hours on my career job, and decided it's time to slow down and have a pipe. I just love having flexible work arrangements. I've been having that for about 20 years now, so I'm blessed to have a career and a job and income, so I can enjoy some of the finer things in life and be able to slow down. About a decade ago, maybe a little over, I went through a amicable divorce with my now ex-wife, and I had realized that I was working 60 hours a week at home, and the biggest reason why was I would rather sit behind my computer working for my corporate job than I would spending time with my wife. And I did not have this revelation until after we were separated and I was working with a therapist and such. Now, to be fair, I traveled a good bit for work, and when I wasn't working and I was home, I didn't spend time with friends. I hadn't really made any friends in the area that I'd moved to back in '04 down in North Carolina, because I felt guilty for spending so much time on the road away from my wife. So I wish I had not done that, or I guess I should say I should not have done that, but as I said in my video about regrets, we make the best decision with the cards we have in our hand, and I've learned from it. Since then, I've made quite a few friends in the area, many that I hang out with without my wife. I got remarried about 8 years ago now. I like to joke around. I didn't learn my lesson the first time, but I did learn a lot from the first failed marriage. Things that I have applied to when it was time to find somebody new, and she just fell into my lap, and she's been an amazing partner for me. Life is so much better with her than it was without. But the biggest thing that I learned is, in order to be happy, you need to be happy with yourself. Happiness comes from within. If you're expecting to meet someone and have them make your life better just because they're there, that is bound for failure. I read a blog post about basically you need to date yourself. And I'm not talking about like your birth date, like what year you were born to date yourself. I mean, like, figure out, what does Fred like to do? What does Fred need to be happy? And one of the things that I found I needed was I need to be need to have some time in nature. I need to be outdoors. I also found I need to spend time working on my spirituality. Now, I'm never gonna preach anything about any specific religion or anything, but I was looking for someone who was willing to chat with me about spirituality. My ex-wife didn't really want to talk about that stuff, and I don't care what religion my new any new woman in my life was, whether she was Wiccan, Buddha, Muslim, Christianity of any sorts, Jewish. I don't care. I just want to be able to have a chat with you about your spirituality versus mine. Have a discussion. Not to say which one's better or worse, but why do you like yours over mine? I'll explain the points of mine that I like. But anywho, I've made a list of things I was looking for. My ex was someone we couldn't go to the beach for a weekend without filling up the back of the Trailblazer with options for clothes and accessories, purses, wallets, shoes. Me, I need like a backpack or a small duffel bag and I'm good, and she's got the rest of the bag filled up with stuff that she has to have, can't go without. Couldn't go to Walmart without spending an hour getting ready, doing her makeup and picking out the right outfit and everything, changing purses around. I'm like, I can't do that. I need a diva on a budget. But anywho, I didn't think I'd find somebody. Turns out I did. But anywho, um, but I learned that I needed to work less. And I had a discussion with my boss about the fact that I was going to be cutting back to working 40 hours a week. Unless I was getting paid overtime because I wanted to spend time in the outdoors. I got big into kayaking. Joined a kayak meetup group and spent a lot of time with them, met a lot of great people, had a lot of fun. And I'm a better man for it. But, I'm glad I learned it when I did. Could have learned it earlier, but that's when I learned it. So I'm taking the money and run, so to speak. Got one of my kitties behind me. He's mad because I haven't fed him yet. Their food time's at 9 o'clock, but they've been pestering me since about 6. And I can't really tell which one that is because I haven't seen his eyes, but I think it was Cody. We got twins, Cody and Duncan, and the only way to tell them apart is their eyes. They're from the same litter. But congrats to Carolina Rose. Your channel has kind of exploded, so to speak. Good on you. But I tend to feel like I have some advice for people in these videos that I release. And I remember years ago, it's probably about a decade ago, maybe not quite. No, it wasn't quite a decade ago. It's probably about 6 or 7 years ago. It was after I got married. I was in a Bible study group at our church. And our pastor had given us some advice. I can't remember exactly what the advice was, whether it was from scripture or from one of his life experiences. And someone in the group commented that it was some profound advice. And that, they were going to take it to heart. And he said something that was nearly a saying I had heard before, but it was kind of contrary to the original saying. And what he said was, all that is gold does not glitter. And I paused and I listened to it. And my first thought was, you said it wrong, Brian. It's all that's glitter isn't gold. All that glitters isn't gold. But as I contemplated it, I realized he was right. There are a lot of things to learn out there that are way more important than monetary value, than gold, than riches, that we need to learn. And, here I am, 6, 8 years later, remembering that phrase exactly as it said it. All that is gold does not glitter. And I think about that every now and again. I'm happy for the things that I have learned. I feel for my little over 4 decades on this earth that I have learned a lot and I have matured a lot. And I have a lot of wisdom. I've learned a lot of lessons about myself through some of the trials and tribulations that I have been through. And I like to try to share that with people, young, old, in the middle. So that's my story about gold for Carolina Rose. If y'all haven't checked out her channel, I'm sure you have, because she's got way more subs than I do. I know I'm getting close to 100. But as I said in my last video, I'm not going to beg y'all to subscribe. I'm not going to beg y'all to like. I'm not going to beg y'all to share. I'm not going to beg y'all to click the notification bell. I tend to do my videos in one take, minimal editing, because I absolutely hate editing. My Columbus Pipe Show video recap, that one drove me nuts. I'm using the Microsoft Clipchamp most of the time to do my editing if I'm not doing it on my phone, and that one I decided to do on my computer, and Clipchamp kept freezing every time I was trying to compile the video because I had sped some of the parts where I was struggling to light my pipe up to a 3x speed, and apparently the combination of my computer and Clipchamp didn't want to get past that. It kept hanging up at that exact same spot no matter what I did, so I had to slow it down to 2x and make y'all suffer through a little bit more of my struggle bus to light my pipe. But I abhor editing. That's why I never got into being a YouTuber in my younger days. But I realized when I was putting together my last video, I didn't talk about, I'm not going to edit, I'm not going to make fancy videos. I'm going to try to do everything in one take and whatnot, but I didn't want to go back and make an edit to it and add that in, so just mention it here, and most people who watch the other video will probably never see this one. But anyway, Carolina Rose, it's been nice getting to know you through your videos, and glad you're enjoying the pipe community. As I've said many times, I know I am here. I've also been enjoying a little bit on the Facebook pipe community that I'm in, and I've got a Discord server for Get Piped. I've been hanging out with people and meeting people, so the online pipe community is freaking amazing. Meeting people in person at shows or just at your local tobacconist. If you find someone who's somewhat local to you and you want to meet up, I've done that a couple times. They're everyone I've met so generous, even just random people I've met at pipe shows and at my local pipe shop. They want to share their stuff. But I've rambled on long enough about this. So I want to encourage you all to be a better person today than you were yesterday. And to be a better person tomorrow than you were today. Smoking Fred, out. Armchair Piper, Smoking Fred. Got some smoke rings for you here at the end of this video. Not sure how well they're showing up, but happy International Smoke Ring Day. That one was a fail.